everyone, and welcome back to some more MotoGP 21 here on this channel. I'm KBG GOONER here, and this is part number 3 of my career walkthrough. Now in today's episode we head to the circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas for a fantastic episode today. Now this circuit is so challenging, so we're going to have to really put in some practice and probably really use a session to get the right tyres and the right setup. So let's get straight into it, and hopefully today will be a very good day. So let's get straight into the qualifying.
Welcome.
Right, so here we go on another lap. We've just changed the tyres, so we're going to try a soft front and a hard rear, and we're really off the pace at the moment. We've put in a couple of laps, we have made some real errors, and we've had a couple of crashes. So yeah, we're definitely going to need the practice today before we move into the qualifying session. And I think, you know, on the back wheel, we don't want to be doing that in the race. Yeah, we're going to have to put in some time on this circuit before we get to the qualifying, I think. So we've got another 25 minutes. We have to use all of that time, I think. Really uneasy through there. Definitely going to have to make some changes to the suspension. It doesn't like the change of direction. And oh god, we're all out of sync again. Really having to back off the throttle and try and get that front turned in, but that might be because we're using the hard rear. It's not as grippy. Again, we've gone wide in the turn, just trying to see what the best tyres are going to be for the race. And I've noticed that the AI are using a lot of the softs and mediums in this session, so is that where we're going to have to go? I'm not sure. That front tyre is already starting to chew up on this first lap. We've got a couple of warnings already. We've got to try and avoid doing that as well. We don't want to have to do the long lap penalty as well. But this is a very difficult circuit, and I absolutely hate this corner. We're using obviously the lines on at the moment because we're doing the development test, but we're definitely going to have to get much tighter in there. But I have seen a couple of crashes there, and I have noticed the AI crash on this version of the game more than any MotoGP game I've ever seen. I'm not sure that's going to be patched, but it is quite bad. And I've seen a couple of other people's videos where nearly every single AI rider has crashed in the same race. So that is something they're definitely going to have to patch if that is something that's not supposed to happen. But there is certain corners they do struggle on, and you've just got to try and work out those weaknesses. Slow it down. This is definitely going to be our best lap if we can nail this last corner. I'm definitely not the fastest round here for sure. I think this is going to be a really tough race. This is going to be our quickest lap, but how far is it going to take us? And that's pushed us up to second, so still not as fast as the fastest time.
The free practice is over, and whilst the riders who are still on track make their way back to the boxes, be sure to stick around for a look at the times for this weekend's first session.
Right, so we only had the 6th fastest time, so that means that we're going to have to do Q1 and Q2, so we're definitely going to have to step it up. We're really going to have to push if you want to get into Q2, so we're going to have to improve our time. So the fastest time set so far is at 2:21.9. I think we can definitely get a faster time than that, but I reckon they're going to get in the 2:20s in this session, so we're going to have to really push it. And we still haven't made any adjustments to the bike, but I am still struggling. I might, if I can't get a lap in on this one, I might going to have to use that setup that I used in the previous episode, because that worked well for us around Argentina. Yes, really struggling. Just can't seem to get that front end turned in. Again, struggling. Really flipping out. Oh god, almost shut myself off the bike, and that's thrown us out on that section. Flipping it, really struggling, and that's going to cost us a little bit on time. Trying to be really good on the brakes, but that was much better on that turn though. Let's see if we can salvage this lap. Hopefully we haven't dropped too much. We just need to try and get faster than that time to get ourselves in Q2, and then we're going to maybe have to make adjustments. I don't think this setup is going to be what we're going to use for the race. Right, let's start braking a little bit earlier. Don't trust that line. That line says to brake a lot later, and I really struggled to get the front end turned in. That was much better. I think you're going to have to try and concentrate on getting those lines rather than trying to push through there as quick as possible. And nice smooth line through here, and you want to get as tight as you can to the apex here, like that, because you find that the AI do run you off the circuit there. I noticed that in the qualifying, and like I said, these are things that you learn very quickly, and I think it's very important that you put the time in these qualifying sessions. I might actually add in the next race an extra practice session, because I don't think that first one was enough. As we come to the final corner, this isn't a too bad lap. I'm not sure whether this is going to be quick enough. Oh, it might be to the line, and oh, look at that, 2:20.6. That is absolutely fantastic. Right, so that moves us into Q2. I'm really pleased with that lap, considering how we struggled on the first part of that lap. We're definitely going to maybe try that setup that I used in Argentina and see how we go. But anyway, let's get into the next qualifying session.
Waiting for the second qualifying session to start. 18 riders in it, but only one will start from pole.
Right, so here we go with our lap in this Q2 session. We really do need to push on this one. As you can see, the first time that's gone in is a 2:20.8, so the times are definitely going to be quicker in this qualifying session. So we're going to need to pull one out the bag as we get a good turn in that first corner. And we've also reverted to that setup we used in Argentina as well. Let's see if this benefits us as we go through this difficult section. The change of direction will feel a little bit smoother, and oh, that was much better there. Yes, there is definitely an improvement on the reaction of the suspension. Don't know why I didn't use this setup before. And just trying to keep it smooth through there. That we're not the quickest through there. The AI are definitely quicker through that section than I am, and that's where I think we're going to lose a bit of time, but it's not bad. We're up on the time at the moment. Right, we really do need to nail this corner as well. And as you probably noticed, the front tyre that I was actually using was already worn before I started. That's because I had used all the softs in the practice session, and we definitely needed to use the soft for this session. And also, we're on our last medium tyre as well, so we're going to have to use tyres that we didn't really want to use for the race. I wanted to go medium, but it looks like we're going to have to go with hard medium. So, and again, that wasn't too bad in that turn. Can we be quick at the third split point? As we just hesitated in there, but we're keeping it on the circuit, trying to push as much as we can. Again, we want to be tight in that turn, and that's we've gone a little bit wider, but don't go on the curb, and we've just managed to steer away from the curb, but we're still up on the time. We should be able to be faster than that time set already, but I think the times are going to be much quicker than that towards the end of the session. So it's not just rely on that first time set. As we come to the final corner, this is definitely going to be a 2:20, but is it going to be faster than that one as we take the last corner? And that was quite smooth to the line, and oh my god, a 2:19.5. Oh, that is awesome. Well done. Right, so we took pole position with that 2:19.5. I cannot believe that. And the fastest time behind us was a 2:20.1. Now we go into the race. Can we take that performance into the race? I hope we can.
Hello from Austin. We're here in Texas, and in just a few minutes we'll be bringing you the Moto3 race. The skies over the track are clear of clouds, and the latest weather reports forecast temperatures in line with what we'd expect at this time of year. Details before the race
right, so
starts.
Here we go with the racing. As you can see, we're using the hard rear and the medium front, and most others are using mediums and soft mediums. I think we're going to struggle at the start, but if we can weather the storm, hopefully once those hard tyres set in, we can really push and hopefully get a win.
Another US Grand Prix here at Austin.
Right, so here we go with the race around the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas. Can we get a good start? That's not too bad. Using power mode 3, we need to get to that first corner in the lead if we can. And let's see if we can just slow it down without getting run off. Hard on the brakes, get it turned in, and get that front wheel down. No, don't want to lose it. And that is a brilliant start. It's exactly what we needed. And now we've got to try and settle in. Like I said, they're on softer compounds, so we're going to struggle at the start with the hard rear and the medium front. I mean, some even were on softs at the front, so this is going to be a very interesting start. Try not make any mistakes. We're definitely slow through this section, so this is where I think we're going to get caught. And that was not too bad, but onto the curb. Just trying not to make a mistake. Down the hill and into this first real tricky corner. This one's a real tricky one as we go a little bit wide, and oh god, contact there, crash. Oh, how did we stay on? That was definitely not my fault. He cut across the front of me there. We're definitely going to have to look at a crash replay at the end of the race, but bloody hell, that was a close one. We were almost taken out on the first lap. Right, let's settle down. We can't let that affect us. We're still leading the race as we turn in. Got really wide. It's such a difficult corner to take, and we've got loads of heat behind us. So we've got to be careful we don't let them come flying round. And get in front as we turn in. God, this bloody hard rear is really not as grippy as the medium. As you can see on that qualifying lap, we did a 2:19.5, and I think we're going to struggle to get those sort of times on these tyres, but let's just try and be consistent at least as we take that corner. Okay, let's not work up this final corner, which can always be a tricky one. And that is the first lap out the way. We're leading in Austin, Texas, and let's see if we can settle into a rhythm. We've got some heat in the tyres and the brakes, and we're going to have to manage that power mode really well in this race as well. So we've gone a little bit wider, but that's not too bad. It avoids any of the riders coming in and taking us off, and we're still leading, but we're definitely going to need a really good lap on this one. Take this a little bit quicker this time, try and be as smooth as we can, and that's not too bad. Try and keep it as tight onto the apex there. And this is where that's nicely done. That felt much smoother through there, and trying to be good on the brakes. Just trying to avoid getting any penalties through there as well. That is nicely done, and we're still leading. Now, can we take this really tricky corner without a rider coming up the inside this time and cutting across us? Let's try and take it a little bit tighter to avoid that problem. Again, we've gone wide, but we've made it without any issues, and we're still leading. But we have got McVie not far behind, and he is pushing. So let's just make sure we don't give him any opportunity. Is he going to come down the inside? No. We've managed to turn in much better that time. And there's been a crash. There's been a crash on that corner. No surprise there. There's going to be plenty of them in this race. We're just maintaining a decent gap. Oh, there's quite a few behind us, so one mistake could really cost us, so we have to make sure we concentrate. Tyres look good, and I think hopefully the hard rear and the medium front will come into their own on the final stages, and hopefully we'll have a little bit more grip than some of the other riders. That's what I'm hoping anyway. Final corner, again, this hasn't been a bad lap. There's another, that was 2:21, so we're not at the pace that I thought we would be, but we're managing to hold on to the lead. I think the race will get quicker towards the end as we come into that turn again. That was nice and smooth. Try not to make any mistakes. And the rider behind us is setting the fastest pace with a 2:20.3. So they're definitely quicker than us at the moment behind. So now that wasn't smooth through there. But I'm telling you, these Moto3 bikes are definitely more lively than they. Oh, there you go, there you go. Flipping out, he came across me there. Don't panic. Flipping out, I wasn't expecting to overtake there, but there you go. And oh, a bit of contact there. We've got another rider coming up the inside. We're struggling here. We're getting bullied into that section, and we need to try not to make any mistakes here. We know there are going to be loads of riders coming tight in around this corner, and we've gone really wide onto the circuits, but I'll take that. You can do that without a penalty, and we've managed just to nip in front, but we're definitely not going to be the quickest into this next left-hand turn, so this is where it gets tricky. Hopefully they don't run into me. We had a couple of riders run into us in the qualifying session, so let's just try and keep that tight. That was nicely done. So we are sitting in P2 now as we come towards the end of lap 3. Trying to take a nice tight turn in there to try and retake the lead, and we have, and we're back into first place, but he's going to probably run it in the inside here, so we need to get really tight in. No, we've gone wide, but now that was careful. We don't want to be going over the curbs when these tyres start to get worn, and they are really going down quickly as we come towards the end of lap 3. We're really struggling to get those tight lines now. Hopefully this lap time will be a bit better, but we're going to have to manage. Oh, and again, just catching the curb there. You don't want to be doing it there. Don't want to get thrown out. And we have got quite a few riders really close behind. This is going to be a really tricky last lap. Going to have to just try and hold our nerve as we come to the end of that lap, and that was definitely our fastest lap of the race, 2:20.9, but still not as fast as the fastest lap of the race, but we're still leading, and that's all that matters. Right, we're going to have to be careful as we go into this turn, and oh my flipping god, we've just, oh, the braking, oh my god, we really mucked it up there, but luckily we were still in the lead then. Oh god, if they were a bit closer, that would have been a real mistake, but we have lost a bit of time. We've got riders really close behind, and we're struggling here for grip. Oh, there you go, there you go, there's one place gone, and he came past at quite a rate as well. And I thought our tyres would be better on this final lap, but it looks like I was wrong. But let's just try and keep with him. We can just at least get on the podium, that still would be a good result, but I'm learning a lot from this race with the bike as well. We definitely need to get a frame upgrade. It just does not handle as well in some of those corners, and that was a much better corner there. We're going to get slipstream into power mode 3. I think we're just going to have to go for it now. Can we get slipstream? Yes we can, and we're going to try and go up the inside. Probably not the best place you want to be, but he probably will come down the inside of us as we slow down anyway. I like to take a little bit of a wider line here. Yes, he's gone down the inside. Let's just try and get nice and tight in. Oh god, that was close, but we managed to get around that corner. He's going to try and get the inside. No, we've just managed to nip in. He's on the curb. He's really trying to push, but we're managing to hold it there. And is he going to come in the inside here? We need to get tight. Oh god, he almost hit the back wheel there as it come into that corner. He's gone really wide there, but we've managed to hold it. Oh flip, now the wheel's going up now, really trying to push it, but bloody hell, that was close. As we come to the final stages, we just need to hold our nerve. This has been a fantastic final lap. Definitely one that we're going to probably have to record and show at the end of the video again, but let's try and win it first before I start celebrating too early as we come to the final stages. They're still very close behind. I think we've got it here. We can just manage this last corner, but look at that front tyre, the medium tyre completely shredded. That was a really hard race, especially at the end, but we take victory. Fantastic. And I think the one thing that I struggled throughout that race was the setup. And if you look at the times, they were definitely quicker. And we just couldn't get that time that we had in qualifying, that 2:19.5. But anyway, we're going to check out that accident at the start of the race and see what happened there. It definitely wasn't my fault, but we're going to have a look anyway. So let's jump into that. Right, so here we are looking at a crash replay, and as you can see, comes straight across my path and look, runs straight into me, and unfortunately he comes off, but that definitely wasn't my fault. Right, let's have a look at the standings. So we have got 75 points. That's 3 wins out of 3. So we have started very strong in this championship. And yeah, I'm really pleased with that result today.
Undoubtedly,
That is a
it
very
was a
challenging
perfect
circuit.
day
I
for
think if
him.
we had
In
gone
addition
a
to the
couple more
victory, his
laps,
position also
anything could have
earns him
happened.
25
Those tyres,
priceless
even though that
championship
was a
points.
hard rear and a medium front, they were absolutely shredded. But I did get on the curbs a lot, and I was using Power Mode 3 quite a lot as well, which chews up the tyres. But yeah, definitely a massive learning curve. And yeah, this season's going to be very tricky. And I'm really going to have to put in the practice. I'm definitely going to add probably an extra practice session for the next race because yeah, it's a circuit that I haven't raced on a MotoGP game. I think we go to Portugal, and that's going to be a challenging one. So let's get into having a look at the points that we got. I think we got some decent points to use for our development. I don't think we're going to be able to do any upgrades. I think we still got some currently going with time. Yes, there's still some currently going with time. So in the next episode, we go to Portugal, a circuit that I have raced around on other games, but I haven't raced on a MotoGP game. So this is going to be a very tough experience. But I'm going to leave you a replay of that final lap, which was very closely contested. And yeah, that was a really good episode. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, leave comments in the tab below, and I will see you soon for the next episode where we take on a tough challenge in Portugal. Thank you and goodbye.